We are thrilled to be at the Outsider Art Fair for our 4th year.
You get people who are interested in work that otherwise they might never think about as even being art.
The fair does so much for so many.
I'm amazed to be here.
It's such a great honor to bring some of the artists that I've known for most of my professional career into the epicenter of contemporary art, which is New York City.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Outsider Art Fair. I'm Andrew Wedlin, I own the fair. I also have a gallery down on the Bowery. I'd be happy to walk through the fair and introduce you to some dealers. Sorry, man. The whole thing about the Outsider Art Fair is we like to dissolve the hierarchy between the fine art world, the elite artists, come on in, and other artists who are completely unknown, who we feel qualitatively are on the same level. Hey, how are you, Randall? This is Duff Lindsay's gallery from Columbus, Ohio, who's been a real stalwart of the fair.
We're always happy to be at the Outsider Art Fair. Andrew treats us like the princesses and princes we should be.
This is really always one of the most exciting booths. This is Magic Markings, which is owned by Alex Skorlitsky. He seems to have some major contacts in India. He always brings surprising, eye-opening kind of work. I was particularly enamored with this latest discovery, this artist who has passed away, but a trove of work was uncovered, and Alex always seems to be on the scene. And I think his presentation is dynamic, and the work has an exotic feel to it, and it's always great to have here.
Plains Indian ledger art is a tradition that began with rock painting that evolved through the pictorial representations on teepees and buffalo hides and articles of clothing. And when they got access to paper and pen and pencil in the 19th century, that pictorial tradition continued.
I've been working with Paul Lafayette's work since the mid-90s. The Life and Death of Elvis Presley. It's a suite of paintings from 1985 to 1995. Paul wasn't really necessarily interested in Elvis Presley per se, but he was interested in the idea of establishing a body of work about a character.
This is really one of our most exciting dealers who comes every year. This is Yukiko Koide, and she brings such an interesting mix of art brut from Japan. The booth is almost always sold out before the fair even opens.
Yukiko Koide Presents is based in Kyoto. It's a leading gallery specialized for the outsider art.
Here we're standing in front of a group of Philadelphia wiremen. They were found in Philadelphia in the trash, and we put these out as anonymous objects, which they were. Their reception was amazing. And Dorothy Foster, who was also a new discovery for us.
The work was found in upstate New York. It was being sold by Dorothy's great nephew, and he's very excited, as we are, to be including the work in the fair for a 2nd year.
Owen Lee was an old friend of mine. He has a very broad range, and so when people come in to see his work, they think that they're seeing the work of several artists, when this is all by one guy. This is a collage on a shirt by Owen. I call this piece the Navigator because on the back it says the navigator will get you there and he will take you back.
I'm here with Max Hollein, the director of the Metropolitan Museum, who interestingly has a great history with outsider art. And right now we're looking at some George Widener's, which he curated into a show years ago in Frankfurt.
Right. We had a great show there, and I still remember when George came to the opening. So for me, these are, of course, not only highly important artists, but artists who I've kind of followed, who was extremely excited to see the Andrews program. And I didn't know the fair before I moved then to New York. Been going to the fair ever since, and we have the community here together.
I think when you see all these pieces together, you sort of feel the collective energy that I feel beyond this for people who, during the pandemic or the last few years, have found a greater appreciation for birds and bird life, because as we were isolated, I think most of us took great reward and solace in the fact that nature was still doing its thing.
We specialize exclusively in Canadian Inuit art, and we really aim to show our artists as relevant contemporary work. So we've shown work from 2 different communities, but at the gallery we show work from across the Arctic over the last 60 years and really show a continued storytelling of art making in the North.
You're focusing on that. We'll be out of your way in 5 minutes.
My name is Carl Hammer. I've done this show now for over 25 years. It's one of the most exhilarating art fair experiences, I think, in the country, and we're very pleased to be part of the excitement that this event brings every year to the New York audience.
Ghislaine and Sylvain Stalins are a couple working in the mountainous region of France. It is the forest in the work, it is the stones in the work, and it is their sense of how the spirit of the forest has informed what it is that they create.
The other sub-theme of the gallery is how self-taught artists deal with cultural resistance. And in Iran, just the act of making a drawing and kind of becomes an act of cultural resistance in and of itself.
So, it's like he's got these chronologies here matched into the decay and decline of the pill-popping genius.
So I've been here for 31 years doing the fair, originally with Sandy Smith, and now with Andrew Edlin, taking us in new realms. My nexus singularity is the point where I connect to the past, present, and future simultaneously. And I've tried to reflect that in what I show here.